Hey guys, welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Commander Cockins. We're talking about the new captain. Well, he's the first captain, but he's back with a fresh coat of paint.
That's right. We're going to be looking at Christopher Pike from the season 1 or season 2, episode 1 in Discovery, his portrayal, and what we think of the character and how much we've seen of him so far.
Yeah, Anson Mount is here. We got a sense of him from the trailers. He seemed to be nice. And he's very heavily featured in this episode. And he's taking command of Discovery all of season 2. So now you've seen him, Stuart, for a solid pretty much an hour. What are your thoughts?
I absolutely loved him. He was a great character, good actor, and I think he did a fantastic job with the role. Pike has always been interesting to me. I did like him in the menagerie or the cage. He would have been good to have as a captain all along, not being replaced by Kirk would have been fine. Then he was one of the best aspects of the JJ movies, bar none. Just a really great actor and a good character overall. And the same thing here. He's very friendly. He's very disarming. He makes you feel comfortable instantly. And I think it's a fantastic characterization. So I am really impressed with what I've seen so far. And I got to say, I think they picked the right actor. There was one scene in particular where he kind of skirted below my expectations just a little bit, but
Which was?
we'll talk about
Bring it around.
when they were talking about rescuing the people on the Hiawatha, and he seemed a little off put by the Discovery crew. He didn't think that they were up to the job, let's say, and that's where Michael Burnham says, "Trust us, we would never leave anybody behind." And it was one of those, if you want us to trust you, you have to trust us kind of moments. And then he kind of perked right back up again, because he started out being like, hey guys, I know I've read the classified brief on your old captain. He really screwed you guys over. I want to make sure that I fix that issue. But that one scene, he kind of was like, I'm not sure what we're going to be able to do about this, but we got to see about rescuing these people. And just it was a little bit shaky.
Well, that was obviously to have Burnham say that line about these people. I sort of took it the other way around, though. I took it as, these people have not been under the charge ever, because they had Lorca as the first captain of a Starfleet captain. They're a crew that's been, as Lorca says, I've trained you to be warriors. So this crew is not a good Starfleet crew in anyone's book. And they've been through bad things. So he's come in as been on a 5-year mission, or with some years of that, on a Connie, a really top-notch crew that he trusts so explicitly. He's come in, and that was after the roll call, so he doesn't know who they are vaguely. So he has no sense of them really as people. And so Burnham starts to reiterate the scene, and he's like, Burnham, I know. I'm not stupid. The line being that, Burnham's reiterating the situation to give her a plan. I would have preferred to just gave her a plan, because I did feel at the same time, it's like, it's like in films where the people are having a heist and they've already said the heist to each other. They say, we'll go through the plan one more time. It's like, that's not for them, it's for you. So I kind of get it, just he was saying, guys, I want a solution here, because they were all being negative. He just didn't give them a chance to deliver the dialogue to get to that. So I was kind of on both sides. Like, he cut her off, but she wasn't delivering a positive, and then she counters back. But that was trying to make him look bad, but I think he was sort of justified, because, they knew he doesn't know their foibles, and they weren't exactly being useful in that moment. They were just saying all negatives. But that was the teeniest bit.
It absolutely was. Other than that, his portrayal was awesome, in my opinion.
And then he took the moment and said exactly what I thought. He took the moment. He didn't make it awkward. He was a better man than to take that goading, which I thought was kind of good. He's above them and their reproach. So for me, it's a nice synergy when you get good actor, good character, good script. When you put those three things together, you have a good portrayal, and he was definitely one of the standouts this episode. He came in like a lightning bolt and charged. Yeah, and he genuinely charged up the crew, because whereas Lorca didn't care who his crew was, didn't like them, didn't want to interact with them, didn't ask their name. This guy, he's like, who is my crew? Because guess what? I've got to trust my crew. And instantly, us, the audience, use that to basically reboot the show and actually come into it fresh. And he does a tremendous job. And it's a synergy of writing and narrative and story. And he's smart. He's good at his job. He has good lines. He's good funny lines, but they're not ever like Orville out of place funny. They're like real human funny, because he's. I mean, come on, if you're that high up in the chain of command, if you were given one of the 12 connies and you've had 5 years, I mean, you're a very specific person, and so he reflects a slightly more unique Trek captain. And yeah, he did a real good job.
Yeah, and that's interesting that you mentioned that about the connies, because it was stated that the Enterprise at least was out of the war for that very reason, and Pike felt guilty about that. He said it affected his crew and it affected him, it even affected Spock, and the reason was that they were so far out that by the time they got back, because they were doing their exploration, their 5-year mission of exploration, by the time they got back, they wouldn't have been necessarily there in time for the war. Plus, Starfleet was kind of using them as a backup plan in case all else failed, pull in the connies, which I thought was kind of a contrivance.
Yeah, it didn't quite work. At least they tried, but it didn't quite work. And I'm sure we'll talk about that in our or have talked about it in our Enterprise episode, because this might come out before or after.
So I do like that kind of multi-layered approach they're taking to him. That he is, he wished he could have been more involved in the war, and and yeah, I do like the way he deals with the crew, and even at the end, that's really personified by the "I need a new ready room. Where do people sit?" And then she made a point of saying that Lorca didn't like discord. He didn't like people coming in and being able to question him. So why make it comfortable? And Pike's like, well, I want people to come in, sit down and hang out and talk to me.
You know what the difference is? He felt like a captain. He commanded the room. Lorca controlled the room.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I said it very early on, he's an awful Federation captain, because he wasn't a Federation captain. I called it, but this guy, he both controls it, but also listens to it and uses it, and real nice balance. And you're right, he's not just perfect, but the interesting fact of him actually still, I mean, it is the canon, but they mess around the canon all the time. He was still out there. It means he's not actually affected by the war. He hasn't got those same... He didn't have to murder 18 Klingon ships at the press of a button like these other people did. So he's actually more genuine Starfleet than these people have seen for over a year. So that was kind of a nice touch. He's going to be bringing a light tone anyway, because he's been doing the true mission of Starfleet. And now he's taking command, so he's going to have a whole different outlook of life and approach. And yeah, he was good. And I think they'll give him more development than they ever have of Pike. I mean, he was not there to be given development to. That wasn't what the sort of Pike character sort of was given. But now we've got a full season of him, theoretically, and he's in the title crawl as well. So he's definitely here for at least primary for most of it. But it was he's impressive in like a nice, gentle way, but he was given good lines and he electrified the crew. You know, he pulled them out of the rut, and you could really feel it. It was tangible.
Yeah. And I mean, Jeffrey Hunter, his portrayal in the menagerie was of a tired, worn-out captain. Yes. And I love that this is like 2-3 years later after The Cage, and he's kind of back to being that, upbeat, captain. I think he still is. He does feel guilty about not being able to help in the war, and but you're right. He was on that mission of exploration, so he's kind of fresh. He's got a fresh view and more Starfleet than we've seen so far, for sure. So I really do like that aspect of it, and it's going to be interesting if he's around all season to see how this character plays out. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they do him justice and they don't wreck the character. But from what I've seen so far, it's only been a strong build, and I'm definitely on board with the whole Pike thing. So they've done a fantastic job so far.
I agree. But interesting thing, I was watching the premiere red carpet live event on Facebook, and they interviewed everyone. And Anson Mormont said specifically, I didn't go back and look at those and actively try and mimic or take anything from Jeffrey Hunter, because I'm the middle chapter of this 3-act play. I shouldn't be either of them, so he did not try to be at all. And his face was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be him. I'm not gonna try and be Pike. I'm gonna be this character. And so it will feel 100% fresh, because he's not playing it to be like Pike. He's just playing it as the role is. And obviously it is very different to how you see in Menagerie. And so it's interesting to see how 2 more years of fresh life gave him, and we see what personal events can do to you, like Kirk in Star Trek 2. He's tired and worn out, and then suddenly he feels young again. So these things can change him, and now he feels fresh and young and gonna be good, I think.
And even having a new crew and a new ship is definitely something that can
Yes,
revitalize someone. Plus, when he's done with the Discovery, he's going to get the Enterprise back, which is going to be a new ship again because it's getting fixed up from whatever happened to it. But
yes,
new
whatever.
beginnings all around.
Yeah, and then a few years later, he'll get horribly crippled.
And then he'll have his every wish fulfilled. Spoilers.
Yeah, well done, guys. Well writing, well introduced, and a damn good introduction for a new character. Because if you don't know who Pike is, I mean, there's no reference apart from the cage, the single line of the cage. There's no like reference to him in the past, but there wouldn't be. His one experience of Trek is so top secret, court-martialable offence. That was the whole point of that, or the death sentence, Regulation 1. It's like a pretty hefty thing, so you're not going to mention that on conversations like, "Oh, Burnham, did you know I was held captive by telepaths, sir?" Oh shit, it's a secret. Shit. Kill you now.
Yeah. Well, Anyway,
I'm just saying, you can be fresh with this character because what we get is so specific and can't really use that per se.
Yeah, it's an interesting character to use for sure because little scene in the cage, then the menagerie was not him per se, and then of course we got the JJ version, which is well done as well. So, but little spatterings here and there.
Any negatives on his portrayal?
Not really, no. Honestly, I don't have anything bad to say at this point. I think he was done very well.
And I think he's very possibly going to be the best character on the show. Very quickly.
Yeah. Because
unlike Tilly, who's obviously trying to be a great character, in episode 1, she was so giving orders that she has no right to give. They treat her like a main character because she is, but her rank does not betray that, whereas Pike can be above it all because he's the top of the chain. Although it is worth mentioning, I guess, at the end here, he did say, and he took over Saru's partial command, but he did let Saru take charge at that final moment, and then right at the end, it does mention how we're going to share custody, which I thought was really interesting.
It's going to be a joint custody situation with the ship because Saru is the acting captain, as it were, so...
What do you think of that? That's new.
I thought that was a great moment actually for that when they pulled in that asteroid where he steps out of the chair and he's like, "My mission's complete.
Yep.
Take over, Mr. Saru." I thought that was great. That's a great mentoring tool to trust somebody that's you've kind of is in coming up to your position to just trust them. It's like when you have kids. At some point, you just got to trust them to do the thing properly and just stand back and don't be a helicopter parent. So I thought that was very well done. And the fact that he's treating Saru with such respect and he knows what Saru's been through with the whole Lorca thing and everything. So I thought it was great. It showed a lot of great character on Pike's part. So
he was given depth instantly. And that's not... Season 1 was not good at depth. Not like... depth. It was like, here's 3 things that define them, but they're all flat planes. He's like... So again, very good introduction, and I have no idea where it's going, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm excited, so... Hopefully you guys are as well. If you are, click like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Comment down below what do you think of Pike, and by all means, hit the notification icon so you get notified when we upload, because we're going to be uploading, talking about a lot of Discovery stuff and new stuff we see, and... yeah, looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it.
But of course, support us on Patreon, the monthly donation scheme that helps the channels like us, but specifically, us do stuff like this. Discovery is now upon us. Lots of stuff to talk about. Without your support, we can't keep it going every single week, month, day, sometimes day. So support us at Patreon. Donate a little bit each and every month. Makes a big difference. Or a one-time donation at trekyards.com. Click that donate button. It goes into our PayPal. Or, of course, you can buy any of our merchandise from Teespring, or you can support us by buying Eagle Moss ships. Like, legitimately, if you buy Eagle Moss ships from their site, put in our Trekyards code down below in the comments. You get money off, and we get good things from that. And Super Chat Lives. We do lives talking about these topics as well. You can join in the conversation, talk to us absolutely live, and put in $1 to ask a question that goes towards us, and we have fun, you have fun, and then the channel keeps going and we'll win. So there you go.
That's right. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Captain Cockings. I was trying to make a Captain
You just
Pike
gave yourself
joke.
A promotion.
Well, I was thinking, what joke could I make about Pike? I said Captain... So there you go. I'm co-Captain Cockings, because that's what Saru and Pike are.
Yes, we're sharing custody of Trekyards.
For this outro.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.